Hello, are we live? Are we okay? We seem alright. There's OBS in the wrong window. Hi, welcome back to more Making Sons of Saul. We're here. What we were doing last time, we started a game, an entire game loop. I said started a game save loop, but we didn't get any saving involved. We will do some of that today. That's a typo. You can see how rushed I was in the last few minutes. Sorry, I'm a few minutes delayed getting it up. I'm trying, well, I had to run out to the bank, but because by the time this stream's over, the bank's closed, so that's too late. So I just got back on time. I was doing a Mac cloud build, so I've only a PC and I can't build Mac builds. They never seem to work. I don't know if it's a Unity thing. I've heard that just switching this to Mac and building and then giving that folder to a Mac user never works for me, and I haven't heard anyone it does work for. But then decided to use cloud build to try Mac builds and give it to the rest of the team who are all on Macs. One of them has a PC as well, but primarily they're all on Macs. So trying to test a game as a team where people have different platforms and I can't test that it works for Mac is problematic. But that should be promising. Once I stripped out the code for the vibration in the controller, it seems to have gotten better. I'm not sure if it's fully fixed yet, or we'll see. Since the last time, looking at Mac builds, and did the blog post this weekend. So May's blog is about empathy for pixels, and one. A little longer than the last one. I've been trying to get the length down overall. I used to kind of just write it and post it and realize it was pretty long. Now I started writing it in Word and doing word counts as I go, just to try to keep it down. But it did kind of grow out into its own thing. But procedural ways or narrative ways or game mechanic ways to create more depth in characters. Maybe you'll find it interesting. Maybe you won't. Don't read it then. Yeah, so we had our shuttle debris. Where could I best show that off? Yeah, go in the test scene and show it. One thing I'm going to have to reset here to make today's stuff work. Bring in the scenes we're going to be using today, which is the home base, the new main menu, and the empty scene. Yeah, that should be it. That's what we're going to have to use in a minute, but to make the Mac build, I had to reset that stuff. So, should be okay. So the debris. Just a couple of episodes ago. There's not a lot of debris there. The blue debris didn't come out. Oh no, some of it did. Blue. Let's try that again. Yeah, there's blue debris. Not a lot of it. Might have created a bug while I was at it. But essentially the debris that we created here, and along with the debris when we destroy the shuttle husk, when it hits an asteroid, yeah, there's some good debris. Essentially that would never disappear, because I wasn't sure how I wanted to disappear it. So we hadn't done it yet. What I've done is, it won't fade on camera, but if you move away from it, and it's been alive for at least 25 seconds, and then come back, a lot of it should be gone. I think the majority of it is gone. Basically, there's the on became invisible command, and if the renderer is not being shown, which is very easy for like this renderer, if the ship goes over here outside the screen, its on became invisible is triggered, and that's when I choose to destroy it. Particle system is a little different because particle system is kind of based here in the middle, and I flew off to the left, but a lot of the debris particles themselves had flown off that way, so it wasn't fully invisible because some of the particles were still rendering, so it didn't trigger that. But that's fine, because as long as there's still some, I want to see them. But if we get far enough away from the debris, then it's time to just turn it off and save resources. And I don't know, we'll see how that turns out performance-wise. I think it should be fine. It's definitely better than leaving it in forever, performance-wise. So I think we were okay to leave it in forever, which is also kind of nice because the missions are only a few minutes long. It'll never be half an hour in a single mission, I don't. Redeactivates design. Yeah, so we're doing the paper prototyping design. Sort of feeds into what we're doing here, but until I play out a full paper prototype with the team, more like building the systems around it than building the specifics. Cleared some yellow warnings. Yeah, you know those ones. Always down here. Say the particle system is complaining because it's deprecated certain commands, and then you try to fix them, and then it complains about the way you tried to fix them. Happened yet? Anyway, I cleared some of them to do with the audio. The audio manager complained that I was using on scene loaded, or on level was loaded, which is also deprecated and still works, but they're going to get rid of it, so they're telling you to get it out and use the scene manager instead. So what I did there was on this. Yeah, I had to put in using Unity Engine.scene management, and then use scene manager.scene loaded and assign to it this clear all thing, which is what I was previously doing on scene was loaded. But it complained about that, so I had to put in a second version of clear all that takes the scene arguments, and it was okay. So I sort of passed this. Sorry. This didn't exist. This stuff was all in there. So I just took it out, made a second version of clear all that takes arguments, and assigned it to the scene management. That's how I cleared that one. If anyone wants more information on that, just comment or whatever, but I'm going to assume that's okay for now. And yes, I experimented with saving. I've mentioned Easy Save 2 before. Plugin, it's actually on sale at the moment. Normally 30 odd euro dollars. Moment it's 20 odd. I think it's 20% off. I don't quite remember. I didn't need to remember because I already own it. But Easy Save. We were talking the last day about how didn't decide, but talking how I would decide to save a scene while you're in the middle of it. Like if something bad happens to you and you're just like, no, I don't want that consequence, but you're like in Iron Man mode or something. How do I force the game to save that consequence on you and not kind of screw it up when you reload the scene and half the enemies are gone, but your wingmen are dead, but the guys who killed them are just gone because they didn't save them. Easy Save 2 have a in beta version of auto saving the whole scene. Turn it on, you can set to save them manually. I don't think there's a way to select all. The select all button. You can set it to save things, and it'll do it pretty reliably. It automatically only saves like the transform and game object itself, and you'd have to check the documentation. What it does not do, which I was hoping it did, was basically take the entire scene as it is at this moment. Like all the bullets flying around, all the enemies where they are, who they're targeting. I was just sort of hoping they'd found a way to quickly detect every state of every component of every object in the scene and save it, but they didn't. That would be a huge amount of work. I was just hoping someone else had done the work and that they were selling a tool to make that easier. Basically, by default, when you quit the application, so stop playing, it'll save the state of the scene. You change how it triggers, and by default, when you load into the scene, it'll load whatever was saved to the autosave file. So I could start the scene and it'll only save the things I've set it to save. That's kind of the problem. But if you had a scene where it doesn't work great in our case because we're spawning in loads of prefabs that don't exist in the hierarchy, so things I want to save aren't in this list right now. What's more, it's only beta, so it's not finished. It's not proven to be unbuggy, and I don't even think it does what I want to begin with, and it's designed to do that. Let's turn it off completely. Remove autosave from the scene. Back to normal. And so I was hoping that was a good way to save the entire scene. It would be depending on the type of scene you have. It would be really handy for a puzzle game, at least a movement, like physically based, movement based puzzle game. Really great for scenes where you don't instantiate and destroy things, but not great for this game. I should close back streaming. Anything else I forgot to close? No, we're okay. So let's get on with doing some of the stuff we were going to do. So we're going to continue this is basically part 2 of the game loop. Whatever I named part 1, this is part 2. So we're continuing on from last Thursday's work. Everything I've tabbed in, we did last Thursday. We can go from the main menu to the home base. We can launch a level that goes directly into an empty scene, and we can use a radio order to get out of that scene and get back to the home base. And we can do that forever. So that's a complete loop technically. Now we just have a huge amount of detail to fill in between them. Let's see. So if this is our new main menu, not fully working yet, but we can go new game, come to the hangar. Obviously there'd be tutorials, intros, cutscenes, that kind of thing, but we can go to the war room. Plan next mission should bring up a map and stuff when we actually plan it. At the moment it just loads you into this mission. What's that missing? I deleted a script earlier thinking nothing used it, but I was like, keep an eye out, maybe something used it. Ship defense gun. I should restore that thing. Shouldn't be any ship defense guns in this scene. I don't know what the other thing is. Anyway, we can. What was the button I used for? Yeah, we can call for an extraction, and an extraction ship doesn't show up. It just extracts us automatically. Go back here, back to the hangar. So there's a whole lot to do in between, like actually call an extraction ship or show a cutscene of us landing back on the carrier. Not allow the extraction if we're in combat. But we can keep going into and out of mission. So we have a loop. I guess most of the... We'll either work on the empty scene. At the moment we load this just empty scene, which is empty. That's the gameplay scene. This is the in-between missions scene. So a lot of what we save and progress and like, the long-term game information will be saved, I guess, in this scene. So probably work here. What do I feel like tackling first out of the stuff that's tabbed to the left? Make sure we're streaming everywhere. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, I have a new follower on Watch Me Work. That makes 2. Let's bring the chat back up. The OBS window. Here, okay, all right, keep going. All right, so a list of active pilots, which what I put in brackets. That would go with 12 for now, or actually be 11. Be like 11 plus player. Access the briefing room map screen. Okay, choose a mission from that map screen. What launching the mission should do before we actually get to the empty scene is save all relevant information, particularly what day we're on. The campaign layer is kind of is turn-based. I'm thinking of it as a day, but I don't particularly see the need to go to bed, like to end the day. Used to have that. And even might still work. I've cleaned out a lot of scripts that I really wasn't using, but this old prototype art kind of system where you at the end of you go through all these scenes at the end of the day 1, you fire for the night, and it becomes day 2. On your jumpsuit, view the intel reports, go to the bridge, schedule a recon for here, so there's a mission. Start your rounds, go to the brig, everyone's happy. Good. I think that's broken at the moment. Oh, kind of worked a little. It's basically broken, but it kind of worked. I think this will load the wrong scene though. Yeah, that'll load us back here, so we've broken out of that old loop. But if we were here, skip the battle and leave squadron headquarters and go to the quartermaster, order new stuff. Fire for the night again, day 3. And like, here's your orders. Idea. So I mean, I don't know how much of that we need. Probably don't need the quartermaster because we can do that from the hangar, I'd say. Although, actually, I don't have a. Somehow I don't have a hangar in this old version, so I guess the quartermaster is the hangar. Pilot bar we do have. Squadron headquarters is kind of our briefing room. The bridge we also have in this scene. Oh, whoa, you're naked if you haven't gotten dressed. Check out the morning intel. Head to the bridge. I mean, Sector 0. There's nothing too terribly wrong with this. A pirate fleet is expected to be operating in the area, schedule a recon. It's added to the active missions. The errors appeared. This used to work, but you know, moved away from it. Broken scripts, changed scripts, references have changed. And you should be able to get into that battle, do it, come back. But it was very much locking you into exactly these steps. Like, so essentially, if you didn't want to do a mission on a day, you'd have like 6 clicks in between everything. You just want to skip a few days, you gotta click so many times. Nothing going on, you know you want to wait for 3 days for a particular thing to be ready, and you're just having to click so many times. So it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. Did then replace the idea of going room to room with an elevator. Sort of summing this up and thinking out loud again. So this is our much better Fred art than Kevin art. You can exit any room, go to the elevator, and go to any room. And this looks so much better. This isn't the bridge, but I don't think we need the bridge because we're not starship captain, we're a fighter pilot. Well, we'll see if we have a bridge in the game. Like, if it's not functional, there's not much point. And this room will function to do a lot of the stuff we need. Can you even spawn enemies here? No. I'm just kind of realizing some of the things I liked about the old model as well. Not much. Not the art, definitely not the art. But here's like our holographic table. No, wait. See how many clicks I have to go through? I can't click on the brig or the bridge and get back there. Click on get dressed. Right, here we are. So this represented your map of the solar system, and one of the things we're talking about now is to bring up the map. Where are we? Yeah, briefing room map screen. That's one of the things we need to get up. I don't really plan to dictate what that looks like. Look like a solar system, obviously, in some way. This, I realize, it doesn't look much like a solar system. The idea in this old model, Sector 0 is your main capital planet, the colonial capital. Sector A, there's civilian presence in this sector, the blue one. These are all just sort of empty sectors, and or supposedly empty sectors. You think they're empty, you could recon them and find out different. Here's one that like was reconned, and so there's enemies in there. But that you could choose to go anywhere. It's not too terribly interesting. Oh, also the green thing was a spy drone, and the idea is that it has this area locked down. So if any ships do enter or leave that area, you're alerted about that. So even though you don't know if there's anyone in these 3 zones or necessarily what exactly is in here, if they start to leave, you'll know where they're going. You'll know that they're going to Sector A somewhere. Now we've in the paper design anyway, just kind of replaced that with kind of intel, not like location based intel, but just more narrative story based intel, where they give you a paragraph of text maybe, and then not a whole paragraph, but a little bit of text saying that because we have this asset, we've found that they're about to leave the system. Generates a mission where you can attack units that are about to leave, or you just let them go, and those same units do appear over here, but here isn't like a hard and fast location. Yeah, because I really like that system too, but that's the problem. You like I have two conflicting systems that I really like. I can only pick one really. Way currently planning it is to sort of lay almost as if it's card based. Like you lay down a card and it says we've spotted a shuttle traveling on its own. It would be good to ambush this shuttle because it seems to be on its own. So let's do that. That's a mission rather than sort of having to be at this mission, having to be at this location as a shuttle comes through it. It is more realistic, but you have to get on into a full-on simulation. Whereas I'm content to just say, I do still want to track how many enemies there are, but don't necessarily need to track exactly where they are at all times and do a full simulation. 'Cause then you got to balance that entire thing, and we are a team of basically 1 plus artist plus. Moment any development stuff is just on my desk, so doing a full simulation as well as live streaming and running a company and everything when it's not necessary, something I'll avoid. So this simulation based system is kind of out the window. But then what do we have? So we're going to have a map of a solar system. I guess I might as well stop talking. I did sort of need to talk out loud a bit, I guess. Oh, hey, Celica. Talk out loud or talk to people who want to talk back. If anyone has in the chat or even in the comments later, but if you have opinions on the assumptions I'm making or just things you think would be interesting in the game, one big reason that I'm live streaming development is to get kind of live feedback when immediately. Just for ideas, and so I'm not. When you're on your own, you're kind of in an echo chamber of just like, I think this is a good idea. Yeah, Kev, that's a great idea. Yeah, and then one other person be like, no, it's stupid because of this obvious reason. You're like, oh yeah, I need other opinions to bounce off. It's useful to have a team, but I don't don't message them on Slack while I'm live streaming, so I'm getting opinions from the team and myself and viewers. You dear viewers. You people. So we want to get to War Room, and when we click on this right now, it goes straight into the mission. Let's make it bring up a map. So let's go to the rooms, hangar. No, we can turn off the hangar and let us work on the War Room now. Okay. So it would make sense that the camera kind of, when you click on the desk, the camera's going to kind of zoom in a bit on the desk and bring up a UI. So a big camera, what's going on? Huh? Oh, the camera is simultaneously big and small. I don't know. Okay, we can. All right. So it needs to zoom in. A perspective. Oh yeah, I do remember. We have a perspective camera because the only room that's really showing it at the moment is the bar, but I'll show you the reason we have a perspective camera is for 3D movement effects. I was like, why aren't we using an orthographic camera? Oh yeah, that's why. So even though we don't have this room in 3D yet, it is just a picture. Yeah, it will be. I'm gonna have to move the camera forward, I guess. Up over. Okay. I will, once the room is set up in 3D, I'm definitely gonna have to adjust where it's moving to, but now let's just, and that's okay. The best way to, because every room is gonna need its own camera controls. How does the bar set up to control it again? Right, it's got a camera parallax script that just isn't active if the bar room isn't active. So we could do similar. For room, click on the table. Already got a sprite animator. So my mouse down events, right now it starts planning the next mission, so we'll get rid of it doing that. Instead, sprite animator, my own sprite animator. Hitting, what do I want? I'm gonna have a movement, I guess. Transform. Scale. I have to put the sprite animator on the main camera. Let me just see something. So if we are this zoomed in, I think when we go to the elevator, if I could go to the elevator, move the exit over here. Click on the exit, we're in the elevator, go to the bar. Camera is reset and fine. How did it remember where it was? Main camera. 0, 0, minus 10. Exit. Main camera is now being determined by what's it called? Script that's on the bar, whatever it was. Parallax camera controller. Go to the, okay, in the elevator it just resets to 0, 0, minus 10. In the war room, oh, it is 0, 0, minus 10. So why is it zoomed in? What is its normal position in the war room? Zero, 0, minus 10. What? What did we do to get it closer? We moved it in, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, this is confusing. Right. Hanger off, or room on. Click on the table. It's going to. Here's the home base manager. Plan next mission, right? So, yeah, we do want it to call plan next mission, but here we're gonna move the main camera somewhere. So I don't want that now. We'll bring it in a sec. Gonna move main camera. I guess. I have stored camera default position. No. Okay. I'm gonna need a vector3 for cam start pause and a public vector3 for war room desk cam pause. I'll also put in a header for this section because it's gonna store any custom camera positions I need. So the coroutine, I'm gonna need a start time as well, I guess. Let's declare it in here. Start move time equals time.time. Move duration equals half a second. And cam start pause equals camera.main.transform.position. This could take an argument for where to. So when we call plan next mission, we move main camera to the war room desk camera position. Sorry, that'll have to be a start coroutine. Brackets, move main camera to that position. Okay. So while we're not at that position, to where to. So I'm writing a function here that'll work for any other room. If I need to focus in on the bar or a ship in the hangar or something, you can just give it those locations and this same function will put the camera there. Good zoom. Right now we're not using zoom, we're just moving up to it. Zoom might be nice, it might not be nice. Right now I don't have the 3D scenes, so I'll leave it at just movement. But we'll see if we need to adjust it once the scenes are set up in 3D. Not 3D models, like, but all the 2D sprites are kind of put in 3D, so they parallax. Okay. So the position is going to be vector3.lerp between start, pause, and where to, and the float is going to be turn time minus the time we started over the duration. The time it is now minus start time, which, you know, it'll be 0 the moment we start it. It'll be half a second in over the move duration. So that value will go from 0 to 1 over half a second. Yield return new, wait for end of frame. And once it is there, it just falls out here and ends the coroutine. So when we click on plan next mission now, the camera should move. I just need to set where it's going to move to. Move it by hand and then get the coordinates I want. Just for now, get the table centered up. Like that. I don't think I could paste those values in. Remember them. 2.69, 3.1. Minus 3.99. Minus 4. Here, that's fine. Minus 4. Okay, there we go. And then we're stuck here. So that's great. So we're also going to need to, like, main menu button there. I don't love in any respect, but I suppose for now I'll keep it. Or I could disable the main menu button when we do click on it to tidy up the scene, and sort of, if we escape back out of it, re-enable button. Oh, whatever, I'll turn off that canvas. So add that canvas. Object set active off. Now the main menu button will disappear when I click on this. Yeah. So we would also need to, I want to be able to press escape and get back out of this. And next mission. Leave leave map view. Okay. Default camera position, actually, and just set it at the start. So where the camera is when the scene starts is going to be the default camera position. So if we leave the map view, move the main camera from the war. No, wait, sorry. No, yeah, it'll know that it's at the war room desk, and it'll move back to default cam position. create empty child here. What is this back to main game thing? Oh, I think I already have the thing I need. Possibly. Oh, sort of. Not really. No, okay. Sort of a way to, when we're reviewing this scene as concept art, I had a button to just get back to the main game, but not exactly what I need now. So yeah, let me just create an empty file. Then if I have a button select auto script. Does this do what I want? No. I think the sprite animator will. Even though I'm not going to animate any sprites, I think it'll do what I wanted. What I want to do is to have just something that'll detect the input of the escape key and trigger moving the camera back and turning the button back on. I guess it should be a button. Make a canvas. Gonna be a world space. You place it on the table. These you have to make them tiny. Oops, I made the wrong thing tiny. Canvas itself has to get way smaller. There it is. Just make it pink for easy viewing right now. This canvas be like, all right. So that's going to represent that stretch to the edges of the canvas. You press this thing, and if you have also set the pivot and the position by holding Alt and Shift and clicking that. So right now the panel is pink and it is expanded to the corners of the canvas. So this is the entire size of the canvas. So I'll just place it as I want now. We got this 1% instead of 0.5%, and then sort of adjust the size after that. It is world space, right? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it needs to be different Z position because it's actually a 3D camera. There we go. Okay, now it's kind of hovering roughly over where the table is. So if that were off and then I click the table and it turns on now and that's now our view, that's kind of okay. Call it a war map canvas. I like to also name if it's world space or not. So that would be, I don't know if I need it off or just sort of low transparency. Let's say just off for now. So one of the things that happens when you click on the table is add another thing. Turn one canvas off, we're going to turn this canvas on. Game object set active with a tick true. On that canvas, turn it on for the moment. Want a button. Do I have something like a panel? What should I name those things? Maybe a world space one isn't the best one. I don't know. Maybe just make it an on-screen canvas because everything's a bit small. Wrong sprite entirely. Frame wasn't it called? Yeah, okay, those are more like it. So frame, it's small right now, but let's see. Text should be white in the right font. Dream catcher at the moment. Very small. It's also going to be a bit hard to actually set up this canvas if I'm not looking closely at it, but sort that out. Text is going to have his back. Make the button smaller. Position it and anchor it to the bottom left. Pivot it there. Little bit. Here. The letter spacing script to space out the letters on that. They're a little cramped in the default font. Okay, now I wanted for this is where the button select auto script comes in. It's a script I wrote where I can leave the my button thing blank. You can assign it to be any button, but I can also leave it blank and it'll just pick the button that it's on. Way to frame, that usually helps. Select button with, I can set the escape key for this. I can set another key if I want. I don't. Eligible for highlight. And switching to gamepad from keyboard, yeah, this is allowed to be selected. Sure, I guess. Oh, I suppose it could also. I haven't really set up this scene at all for controller yet, but it could also be. The faster way of getting through. Move the mouse off it and then roll with the arrows. Joystick button 1 is the B button on a joystick. So the B button could activate this. But only if it's on. So let me turn that off. When it's selected. Oh yeah, sure, the back button doesn't do anything yet. Not ear map, war map. What that will do is thing the button does. Okay, here it is. It'll go manager, main manager script, or the home base manager script, and leave map view is what it's going to call. Leave map view will move the camera back. I can either turn off the map canvas through the button stuff in the inspector or through script. Really matter. Kind of better through script because it's more protected. But you also have to make variables for it and drag in things. Public variables and drag it in, or else code to find it. So that'll do. Press escape, goes back. Click on this, goes back. Joystick button 0 or 1 goes back. Okay. That's the gamepad button B. Okay, so there's, a shitty thing. Could make back just be an X button in the corner. Up in the other corner. In a little bit. Text of X. Don't need that. Centered. I know I can't see what I just edited, but made the text shorter, not the button. It's fine. So now instead of that pink panel, let's give it an image. Oh, not in play mode though. That would be terrible. Panel. Go back to white. Opaque, but give it the image of one of our frames. I could do that one and make it less clear, or I could do this already less clear one, but I don't think that's quite dark enough. I'll actually do that. Another thing I'd like to do actually is make the room darker when this comes up. Dim the lights and show the hollow table. I mean, that makes sense, right? Gonna be the best way to do. Few different options. basically going to be a color swap. Color changer. Change from fully white to just darker. New color all the way to the new color, and do that in a quarter second. Revert to original color when no, don't. Then do I do this? So another click event is going to war room sprite animator and kind of trigger that start animate. Oh. I have a stop animating colors script in there. It didn't ever write start. It can kind of start itself, or you can start it from other scripts and places. Color change. Animate colors. Alright, so it actually was on there. Just didn't call it start animating colors. Which I probably should do. Just be clearer. That doesn't break anything. So when we click the table, drag in the war room, sprite animators, start animating colors. I have to bring those colors back up as well. Maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Off. Converted to normal. If it takes a full second, I can see it a bit clearer. Make it take 3 seconds. Is this me, or did it start on gray and go to white? Wow. That went red, gray, red. Why though? I think it is reverting to the original when done, but even though I didn't ask it to. I don't know. The original is white. think it's running the time value the whole time. Strange. Start animating colors. So until stop animating colors is called. Not looping. Stop. So anyway, I think because the script is on already, it's already sort of counting its way through the time value to use. It doesn't start at 0 here. It starts at 2 seconds. That's why it didn't start from the pure white color. Maybe when I go start animating colors. Time value to use should be time. Yeah, I didn't want to get into this script today. Time value to use so it is, yeah, taking the time. Well, it's taking the time all the time, and it's been doing this since the scene started, even though we didn't click on the desk straight away. So it is sort of midway through its color animation, but without doing the animation. Effectively. We just set time value to use equals 0 here. See how well that works. This is just meant to be a little bit of flare where it dims the lights in the room. Okay, so it went dark white. But it went. This would make it really obvious. Going to red to green. That's just. Then we'll know exactly what it's doing. Starts from green, goes to red, stays there. Why would it start at green? If I click it straight away, maybe it'll be on red. But it was. Seems to be ping-ponging between value at the start and the value at the end, even though I haven't selected a ping-pong version of the animation. So, right, we come in here and time value to use should not be greater than color reached time, I think. Well, it might be equal to it. Oh, plus cycle time be 2 seconds divided by, okay. Let's see something. If I just say start immediately, work correctly. Oh. It's not meant to be looping. Went red, green, blue, and back to red. Not meant to revert to the original. Strange. This used to work. Definitely tested that the color thing had been fixed. Either add a note to fix the color animations, or I can just do it now. Try do it now. I suppose fixing the color animations isn't what I wanted to do today, so let's get on with the rest. Bugs, color animator on sprite swap not working correctly. Right, so take this sprite animator off the war room. Table will not do anything with it. It will zoom in on the map. It'll do that, right? Here's going to be our world map. I'll actually make it a little bit bigger. That doesn't matter for now. So what we need on this is like options for missions that'll launch a mission. I guess I'll have a launch mission button on it. Duplicate that. Since it's already got the text and images that I want. And the other corner, bring it out a bit. And the text, launch mission, letter spacing. You can see it move in the scene view there. So that's not interactable. And the text doesn't get any darker though when it's not interactive. Right. Say when you do interact with it, what I'm gonna do is but you can't interact with it until you choose a mission. Ah, crap. Just moved all the buttons. Mission type 1 and type 2. Just so the text looks different, I'm going to get the text of the letter O. Right. When you click on either of them, we need a launch mission button. Sorry, this and this. Public button, launch mission button. Oops. Okay. And next mission. Okay. I suppose leave map if you can go next to it. So if I have a quick void for code mission type, or select mission type, code mission parameters and info, but then also make the launch mission button interactable. So these mission type buttons need to actually do home base manager, what do I call it? What did I just call it? Select mission type. Off a second. They needn't be buttons actually, they could be images or whatever. I laid them out in weird ways just because they're meant to be clickable buttons on a map. Oh, I disabled the table, part of clicking. Also, I need a reference to launch mission button or nothing will work. Also going to put in a reference to the war room table. Getting sick of dragging things around buttons. I'd like to do a lot more in script. War room table. So when we go plan, next mission, war room table, dot set active, or no, not I don't want to deactivate it because it's going to be an image of a table, but I'm going to take its collider, turn that off. And then if we leave map view, turn it back on, drag in this reference now before I forget. There it is, okay. Table doesn't need to have that one I just added that does nothing. Right, so we can't launch the mission. I'd like to gray out that text a bit better, but if I click one of these, then I can launch the mission. But if I escape out here, that comes back on. Can still launch the mission. Okay, so I'll have to disable that. But here we go. Launch the mission. End the mission. Back to the hang. Come back here. And I can't launch a mission until I select one, and then leave the map view, the launch mission button dot interactable equals false again. Okay. That's a bit of improvement to this scene. Not sure does it actually fulfill any of the requirements here. Access the briefing room map screen. I mean, yeah, we haven't built the map screen, but in terms of a loop, this was all loop requirements. Yeah, we can access the briefing room map screen. We can sort of choose a mission, but we didn't actually, yeah. I'm going to say that's not done because choosing the mission didn't actually do anything. It just allowed us to launch when it didn't set up any mission parameters. Okay, that's not done. Mission. Yeah, I haven't saved any of that info. I said we'd do saving today. Where are we? Oh, we're actually an hour and a half in. Okay. Well, I know I started a little late, but no, yeah, we're an hour and a half in. Oh yeah, sorry. I had the "we'll start shoot shortly" screen up for a little while. Okay. Check chat on what? No. Okay. Okay, I mean totally empty. No one watching today. What will I bother to do with saving? Simplest thing I can do with saving, I guess, half an hour left on this, is probably to save a count of what day it is. I said earlier, it wasn't entirely clear whether it was a day or a turn. I mean, in gameplay terms, it's a turn rather than being a day, and then explained why you might have to go to bed or might not have to go to bed. Well, sort of. I explained that we used to have to go to bed and that we probably wouldn't now, but let's just call it days for now. I get a count of what day it is. Panel. on text. Day text. Let's say day 1 for argument's sake. White. Central at the top. Center the text. Font. Spacing of so that's a place to have some text. Alright, I'm gonna make a new section for war room assets objects, so we can keep them tidy. Should be under bar maybe. So there's going to be a reference to the text, day text. Voice panel again. Oh yeah, just swap the mouses over. So that's for now. We're gonna have to keep reference to what day it is. I won't hide it in inspector for now. Public int day equals 1, whatever. And when we load the scene, we should get what day it is. So this is where we start having a save file for the campaign, I guess. First bit of persistent info for a campaign. Getting a bit cold. So when we leave the actual combat mission, we come back in here, but nothing has advanced the day, so we're kind of like just starting, or reloading the scene. We're not actually coming back to the scene, we're restarting the scene, and it'll have the same day and everything until we do something about that. So I'm going to need to drag day text in here, aren't I? Bad to forget that, and then we'd wonder why it didn't work. I'm gonna have to get day. So we need like I could easily just save this to PlayerPrefs right now, but now we should save a main file. So I'm thinking like every could and should, I guess. Yeah, definitely should set it up that the entire campaign save is in one save file. shouldn't I? I guess so. In which case it should be readable in Windows Explorer. Should say game save 1 or whatever. Actually, let me just, if I were to go Steam and look at Xcom 2's, I think I remember where don't. It mightn't have been in the main folder, they might be in the player, like, local roaming data. Empty? No, okay, so I remember what they called them. Easy save, show me my persistent data. Open default save folder, right? So a save file called day. It's encrypted to save file called room. Yeah, I don't need. Yeah, so actually those belong to the old prototype I was showing earlier. Analytics doing something. Okay, so the Xcom 2 here. Under Firaxis or 2K. Alright, well, any one of them. Get that one, or that one. So they kind of go save 1, save 2. You'll find auto saves kind of a place. Oh yeah, that only has 1 save, that game, I think. Yeah, so I think the way to do it will be on the main menu. When you say start a new game and select difficulty and all that, it'll create a new save called game 1 save 1 or something. Because I don't plan to force you into an Iron Man mode, so you'd sort of have to be able to have multiple saves in the same campaign. So we'll call it something like save G1 or game 1 save 1, game 1 save 2. Start a new game, it'll be game 2 save 1. I'll call this something like game test save 1. And we're gonna kind of run on an Iron Man mode for the moment, keeping 1 save. So how to do? Suppose I need to store the campaign name somewhere. Of course, the assets I have mid-mission and the assets I have in the home base are quite different as well, including the scripts, the tool script, which can do saves. I suppose from any mission we launch will be from here, so we can persist an object like don't destroy on load, bring it into the scene. So if we're saving mid-mission, we can have this save object kind of persist. So I guess we'll have a save and load game object and just don't destroy it, and persist it through Yeah, okay, that's what I'll do. Save and load. Gonna put it at 0. And need a new script for save and load. Be more specific, like campaign save and load. Okay, it's been renamed in the file name should be renamed. Oh, but it's been lost from the game object. Okay. Right, so I don't need home base manager to store the day, I guess. Going to make this a singleton, I guess. Static campaign save and load. I'm gonna just try to remember to do it without looking anything up. Public static campaign save and load called instance. Public. Sorry. Unawake. If instance equals null, instance equals this. Don't destroy on load this. Else to and this will happen actually. There will be, as long as I don't destroy them on load and never destroy them, they will go into a mission and come out of a mission and it'll come back out of the mission and it'll find another campaign save and load in the home base scene, and then there will be 2, so I'll probably see this mission a lot. Or this debug message. I get rid of it. Until I get rid of it. I'll probably use this to save what day it is and everything. That's just a thing I do. I comment mono on the last bracket. The behavior just reminds me which ones I end one. Oh, day 0. I know I've created test prototype stuff about like campaign saving, and hopefully I don't have like a long time ago. Might have just deleted them, might have just moved them to an unused folder or an unused namespace. Oh, sorry, my leg hurts today. I'm not going to make it public, but I'm going to serialize private variables. That'll work, won't it? And filing. Didn't. Do I have to say it's private? Just serialize field. Okay. Turn off war room. I'm going to do a couple of things to prove that we can save information, or at least affect information. Right. When we activate and next mission thing, day text dot text equals day plus and save and load. Oh, the campaign manager, that's what I should be using, I think. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Dot instance dot day, the get day. Don't have to. I usually make things public because I don't work with other coders. But so public int get day return day. And I mean, advanced day is a bit like set day, but I don't think I ever want to advance it more than one. Let's yeah, just say set day. New day. Script isn't saved. Oh, this one isn't saved. Get day. Generator, campaign manager. Where's the campaign manager? Yeah, it is in this point now. Oh, I have it in this scene already? No, but I did use it at one stage. I kind of think I want to write a new one. Just come with any baggage, but yeah, this is the one that set up the prototype version of the home base that I made earlier, or that I showed you earlier. Oh yeah, I didn't put it in an unused namespace because then it set up a whole chain reaction of put in an unused namespace that I didn't want. campaign save and load. Let's just say we're on day 5. Save the scene at the moment, and again, CMC mission support, wasn't it? That called me sort of calling the extraction. Yeah, so this is what we did the last day, just basically loads the home base. So if campaign save and load dot instance campaign save and load dot instance dot set day, it's gonna be campaign save and load dot instance dot get day +1. I would have just said advanced day and let it do that, but I felt like for once I should actually do getters and setters and not expose the day, just to prove that I can do that. Even good getters and setters. So come in here, go to the map, it should say day 5, we should do the mission, come out, and it should say day 6. Day 5. Can't launch mission, pick a mission, launch mission. Come on out of it. And destroying for 2 campaign scripts, destroying 1. Day 6. Day 6. If I didn't save that information, and I'm not loading it, so when I come back in, it'll be day 5. I should probably save it. Minutes left, alright. I want to have like wrong script entirely. Oh, what did we change? Oh, we just added a line? Okay, that's fine. So we'd also need on the main menu is like a list of all available save files. Then when you launch into a game from the main menu, it sort of sets up a campaign save and load thing, and as well as just the day, a lot of things. Save file name. Why is my brain not working? Sorry. Normally goes get and set the other way around. Not normally written like that either. I don't know. Right. Save campaign info. Do that. So I have easy save 2. That's one way to do it, and it's to buy that thing. There are tutorials out there on how to save down info without using easy save 2. It's using Unity's normal stuff, not even PlayerPrefs, proper saves. So do look them up if you're interested in how to save without the easy save 2 package. But the principles are all going to be the same. Just set a directory and set what you're going to save. Save again. Obviously, you need the save directory name. Save a bunch of types. How did I do it with the cart? Change the encryption password later because now I've shown it on the screen. Do that before launch anyway. Right, so you tend to check if the file exists. And then load or save to it. Save data is a string, and then you put in the save directory. Save data. Save campaign info. What do you? I don't even remember how it was written a second ago. Save. Save data. Directory, basically. The encryption if you want it. Let's save it without the encryption for the minute. And without really a directory. Save. Got save data, and in the save file name. So the save data is, at the moment, it's just going to be as basic as day2string. Now it'll have to get more complicated because I'm going to save all sorts of information. But for each new thing I put in save, I'll put in a load. Done it before, it's easier to look. Load type of string from the directory. file name. And then this day equals. Now I'm gonna have to parse all the saved data out. You know, the first part might be the day, but the second part might be something else. But I go to int. You convert a string to an int. Work. Here in seed is what I did before. I saved a long number basically as a string and then split it up into individual numbers according to that. Do it again. Bring back a string that just says, you know, the number 12 as a string, but not as it doesn't know it's an integer. Why is my brain? This is relatively early on a Monday. I shouldn't be this screwed up. By commas. Turn seed. Bit. So it's bringing in a string array of seed, which is a long number. int32.parse. That is a string, but it's changing it into an integer. Okay. Using int32. Oh, that's not it. Using system, I think we'll get it. If there are other ways to do this, please let me know. But right now, just parse the saved data. That's what the day is going to be. So when will I save campaign info? I guess I'll save campaign info when I leave. Okay, when we're in the home base and we awake. If campaign save and load dot instance, campaign save and load dot instance dot load campaign info. Right. That might fail the first time actually, or any time I delete the file or save different info, but And next mission, no. When we launch a mission, we should save campaign info first. I'm just going to stop saying if because it's going to be there. So it's mission that actually advances. The day advances at the end of the mission, so I'll have to save it there as well. And I closed it. At 5:10, definitely almost done. I'm going to keep the ifs here because if I'm in the test scene or anything, the save and load won't be here. For a while. Save the campaign info. Right. Save all scenes, yes. Okay. Now every time we leave a mission, the day should advance, and even if we stop playing, we're on day 5. Launch the mission, come back. Now we should be on day 6, but we already did that the last time we were playing. Now it did just load that stuff, but because I wasn't destroying on load, that's not impressive because we already did that last time. But it should now come back day 5 again because we're back in the editor. But it'll load in the number 6 this time, I think. Yeah, day 6. Do a mission. Now, I'm just going to quit from here. Actually, I'll go one more time. Come back, it'll be day 7. Play, it'll be day 7. Go into the mission. I'm going to quit the editor from here. Now I'm not saving campaign info on application quit, which I should ultimately do, because if something bad happens to player and they try to save Xcom by just quitting without the game saving, it should save basically whenever you press escape to quit. It should kind of save then, at least. But for now it didn't, so we're coming back to the editor. It should still say day 7 because we didn't actually go through the extraction. Alright, so that's the start of a campaign save file. Let's see where it is. It is in game. It doesn't have any encryption. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Oh, there are definitely ways to open this because it doesn't have encryption. But I'm not gonna do any of them. Okay, so we started having a save file, which for some reason I didn't call save. I just wrote the word game. I should call it save test. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. I'm also going to delete that one. Could also kind of put it in a subdirectory of save games, but that can all be sort of tweaked in future. The fundamentals of it are there. So I'm going to try to fix the sprite animator next, but like off screen. It shouldn't be going through all the colors and back to the start one if I didn't tell it to go back to the start one. Anyway, so now we haven't done a whole lot to improve our loop, really. It won't have loaded the first time, but it will. all we've done is kind of add this, but these represent different missions and can be, when you click that, there's no code hooked up to it, but it will load a set of parameters like this is a base assault and that's a convoy escort or something. And then when you launch mission, it'll carry through the mission setup, set it up before opening the scene and then in the scene. It'll also save the exact type of mission setup we want, but we're getting there. Kind of building. I don't have all the game rules yet, so specifically what we'll save, I don't know specifically now, but I'm kind of off stream trying to race ahead with that, and on stream just kind of building the framework to fit it all on. So hopefully they'll line up sooner or later. Alright, so that's it for today. We're back on Thursday at 8 p.m. Any other? Shouldn't be anything happening before then. No big news or anything. The blog is live. I said that earlier, I think. It was no chat there. The blog is on retroneogames.com/blog, and it's about empathy for pixels. Enjoy it if you want to. About narrative, procedural generation, and the characters with a bit of depth, that kind of thing. Okay, so see you on Thursday, 8 p.m. Irish time. Later.